Hello, everyone. Hello, beautiful souls out there. This is Sherry at Soul Conscious Tarot, and this is going to be our collective reading for today. We're going to see what comes up in the energy. We have clock, tick tock. I'm hearing tick tock, time, 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 needing time, cycles, take time, time, time. So you or someone you're connected to might be really worried or concerned about how long something is taking. It's an energy definitely of impatience. Tick tock, clock is ticking down. Maybe you're waiting for something to happen and it's not happening. Maybe somebody you're connected to is waiting for something to happen and it's not happening for them. And so it's keeping things stuck in a way is what I'm getting. There's this like kind of a little bit of stuck energy. So I feel like this is distraction. And this can be, I feel like this is a good distraction. I feel like this is the universe coming through with this party card and saying, hey, it's a time. Yeah, things aren't happening the way you want them to, but now is a time to, go ahead and give yourself some healthy distractions, not necessarily negative distractions, which are possible, but positive distractions. Find things like spending time with friends or something like that will help get your mind off of the time to lift your spirits, to put you in a better mood, to allow you to temporarily forget about your focus on how long something has taken. Because I feel like whatever this is, it's divine timing. And divine timing can always be really tough to deal with because it's out of our control. Something's going to happen when it happens. And no matter how much we force it or want it to happen, it's going to happen when it happens. And sometimes that can be very, very hard to cope with, the fact that it's out of our control and that the timing, we don't know how long something's going to take. So it's always good to fill that time with something creative or something that brings you happiness and joy in your life in this present moment, while you're waiting for whatever to happen. I'm being called to shuffle a little bit here. What card wants to come out? I keep getting drawn to this one, the snake. So we have competition energy, the other woman looking over your shoulder. Again, I feel like there's this need for a healthy distraction. I think that you or someone you're connected to is focusing on the negative. I see this as a negative energy as far as, sometimes we can look at other people around us and see that they're moving forward or things are happening for them when they're not happening for us particularly. And so that can cause within us, jealousy or envy or, resentment even of why are they getting this and I'm not? Why are they able to do this and I'm not? And it's that can be a kind of a snake devil energy in a sense. It fosters and breeds that competition of comparing yourself to others, and that's what you're doing. I'm going to keep this card out because I think that that's important, because I think this is important to the energy right now. Is this and it's funny how I was drawn to that card, that I really feel like the challenge right now that we might be undergoing, or most of us might be undergoing, you or someone connected to you is undergoing at this time, is this, like comparing yourself to others, or feeling that competitive energy, or feeling like you don't equate or stack up to other people around you, which can be a little bit of a self-worth issue in the fact that you feel the need to, like, you feel you're not looking at life and comparing it to your own milestones. You're not realizing you are not somebody else. The experiences and things that are happening to them, you don't know what led up to them experiencing that right now in their moment. They may be on a different timeline than you energetically, And that's why it seems like things are moving for them and they're not for you. And it's because your journey in life is different from their journey in life. They have experienced different things than you have, and so you can't, it's very hard for us, and we should never compare ourselves to other people or where we're at in any level in our life to other people. And it's easy to do that because especially society around us is can be, it kind of wants us to be competitive. I mean, you look at any job out there, any job environment out there, they want you to set goals, they want you to achieve, they promote competition of best employee and spot awards and stuff like that. It's all about, it's achievement oriented. And whenever it's achievement orientated, you're usually in those situations, you're usually up against other coworkers. It's pitting you against each other, and then you're almost forced to compare your efforts to someone else instead of your own personal growth. Like, I wish companies would take on an outlook of saying, instead of comparing or doing these achievement awards for like best employee, of recognizing, being more apt to recognize personal growth, as far as like how far you have come as an individual, as an employee, across each year and milestone. So say every year, and then like at 5 years and 10 years, the company go back and look how far that you as an individual has come, and compare it against your own growth versus the collective's growth, so to speak. Because I think that's where we have been kind of failing. A lot of people is we're not promoting that individual self growth, and where we should be competing or looking at our level of growth, or how far we've come, should be compared to where we've been personally, not against somebody else. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So say what you're afraid to say, express what you've been hiding. It will give you the peace that you seek. So this is saying something's bothering you. I feel like, I shared this with somebody that I knew, that was like a little meme, and I don't know that I'm gonna to get it right here, but it says something about unexpressed feelings and emotions can lead to resentment. Because unexpressed expectations. There we go. Unexpressed expectations can lead to resentment. And I believe that is true in a sense, because when we don't express ourselves, when we feel a certain way, when something bothers us, when something is like we had expectations or needs that we needed to be met, if we didn't, people aren't mind readers. They can't read our mind. So a lot of times we kind of expect people to read our mind. We expect them to understand what we feel or what we need or what we're going through right now, and to just show up for us without actually saying what we need. And sometimes we don't even know what we need. And so this is what our responsibility is to learn to be able to express ourselves in a way that, first we have to get in touch with our feelings and understand what is actually going on with us, so that we can therefore communicate that with people around us, to tell them to express what we really need. And that can be in any aspect of our life where we are in life, whether it be a job, of expressing our needs, as far as, okay, I'm not making enough to meet my needs, or I need this kind of accommodation or this kind of work environment to be productive. And if an employer or someone like that, or even a friend or a family member or something, it's their responsibility to when you address and open up and say, I have this need that needs to be fulfilled, whatever that need is. If they can't meet that need, they need to express that so there's no expectations that aren't being met. Like there aren't any unknowns here. So you say, okay, I need more time for a project, or I need more time to think about how I feel about something. If it's a relationship, then the other person that you bring that up to, it's, at that point, it's their responsibility to say, okay, I get that. I get what you need, but I can't provide it. Or yes, I can give you what you need. I can give you that more time. I can get, if you're needing time, I can give you time, but you have to express that you need that time. The doubts and the confusion happen within relationships, and this can be relationships when it comes to romantic relationships or friendships, or even in work environments with coworkers. It's our inability to express our needs, and sometimes our inability to share the fact, whether it's hurtful or not to someone, to say, hey, I can't do this for you, or I can't be there, and this is why. Like to be very honest and sincere and upfront. Some people can do that, but some people are more challenged at that. And I feel like the energy that's coming through is somebody that might have a challenge around speaking up and saying what they need to say, because I feel like in some way they might feel like they're being judged. Again, it comes back to I just almost spilt all my decks here as I try to lay that down. It comes back to this competitive energy of feeling like you can't express yourself for fear of maybe looking bad, in some way. That's not going to be for everyone, but that is coming through for some of you, and some of you may relate to that or correspond for you. So, and if it does, hit that like button, make a comment down below, to say that you resonate with that, that fact that you might feel fearful around speaking up and telling your truth to somebody or to those around you because of fear of persecution. That's what I feel like, a fear of persecution that's almost coming through. So I wanted to use this deck for the overall energy, but we've kind of got our overall energy that wanted to come through in these other decks. But let's go ahead. This deck wanted to speak, so we'll let it speak. So we have making a choice. I gotta figure out how I want to place these, because I want to get into the tarot here, and I didn't expect to have this many cards. So how do I want to? We'll just roll with it and figure it out. We'll just make do. Hopefully I can fit all these over. I might just have to slide those over a little bit, and then hopefully we'll have room for the tarot. So let's get our 4 and 4 cards, and then 4 clarifications on those 4 main cards. So what do we got? What do we got, universe, on this? What is this? I actually like this, and I didn't say it. I kind of I was so focused on getting this organized or making space. Ooh, maybe that's the problem. Maybe that's something you have to speak up about, is maybe you need more space. Maybe there's something that you have to let go of. There's a choice. I mean, it says right here, making a choice. There's a choice you need to make. And I think it's to make more space in your life for something. And maybe that's a hard thing, to make that choice and to speak your truth of the door that you need to go through. Maybe you're being tugged in 2 directions. Maybe you have people or places or like there's things, responsibilities that you have that are pulling you in multiple directions, and so there's this need for you to speak up and say your piece, whether it is hard for other people or not. Because I did feel like somebody that fears speaking up, fears being able, like fear of persecution is coming through very strongly. So it's like somebody who is afraid to speak their mind and speak how they feel for fear of persecution, whether that's speaking up about a coworker that is treating you bad in an environment, or something that's going on in a work environment that you don't like, a fear, sometimes you're afraid to go to HR about something because of you may get retaliated upon, even though they always say you're not going to be, there's no retaliation or whatever when it comes to reporting things. Depending on the company, if it's a smaller company or a smaller group that you're working in a project or whatever, that it's going to get back to people and people are going to know. So there is that fear of speaking up because it will come out, that you're the one that spoke up about this, and that can be very scary. It can be, very challenging to bring something up, even though that you need to correct the problem, that the problem needs to be fixed. It's something that needs to be said and needs to be addressed. And so even in a relationship, if this is a romantic relationship, it's the same thing, of fear of your rejection by your partner, or being persecuted, or being looked down upon like not enough or not good enough, by voicing your opinion or voicing your needs, voicing what you feel. You're afraid of the retaliation of that. And so there's this choice that needs to be made, but there's this fear around making that choice, because it could be maybe you have to stand up to a parent, that's hard, or a child, and say how you feel, knowing that it may cause distress in that relationship, and that can be something very difficult to do, even if it's a romantic partner. And it's like something needs to be said, something needs to be addressed. We need to get this on the table, and so it can be discussed. Otherwise, it's just going to continue to breed resentment. And I think that that's a lot of reasons a lot of marriages fail, is because people are unable, the people in the relationship are unable to feel comfortable enough to express how their needs, or express how they feel about something, because they're afraid of the persecution, or afraid of the ramifications of what would happen if they do speak up. There is a fear there that is tied and associated with that. And I like that we have this being 30, which is 3, which is, the cards of 3 are usually with somebody that is looking, that to me is more about future planning in a sense, or accounting for the future in some way. Okay, so we have coming out as our base energy, we have the Ace of Wands, and then we had flipping over here the 2 of Pentacles, and isn't that interesting? I think that I ended up pulling the Gilded Tarot because it's smaller deck, and it knew that I was going to need the space. Isn't that interesting how that works? Okay, so we have Ace of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. One more card here, Universe, and the Queen of Pentacles coming out here. So right off the bat, I'm getting, again, there's this decision, this tangible, it's like I'm weighing up options here, and we even have that, because even that looks like a scale. And this is, the Pentacles. It's weighing up something tangible, weighing the scales, weighing up 2 options, very tangible choices of decisions, of paths. Like, look at those are doors that if I can. This could be somebody, this could relate if you're somebody maybe that's contemplating whether I need, should I, if you're married, that might be contemplating divorce. Do I speak up, to my partner and say something about how I'm feeling, and then see where it goes? They may be afraid of the repercussions. Like, it could be somebody that because resentment maybe has built around this, maybe envious or jealous energy or something, because something hasn't been said, and resentment breeds within the relationship dynamic. And that can tear a lot of, as I was said kind of earlier, that can tear a lot of relationships or marriages apart, because things aren't expressed. And I feel like that's what, like, this is somebody that things haven't been expressed, or when we've expressed ourselves, we haven't expressed ourselves in a productive way, in a way that where you and someone else can sit at the table and actually express your feelings in a healthy way, in a healthy dialogue that actually is productive. So when we feel like our needs aren't being met, then we start searching for them outside of us. We start comparing ourselves to others, and we start longing for things that we don't currently have. And that's what, pushes us to go in a different direction, because whenever our needs aren't being met, they aren't being addressed, and they aren't being met within any situation, whether that be, with a, like I said, in a work environment, whether it be in a relationship, it doesn't matter. When our needs aren't being met, then we start looking outside of that dynamic for our needs to be met. And so this is why, you might have, people within a marriage that will look outside of the marriage and get into other relationships outside of the marriage, because they're looking to fill something that's not being fulfilled within the current dynamic, because their needs aren't being met in some way, because they're not being addressed. And that's either, it can be on it takes two to tango. So it could be that they're, you or them are either not expressing their needs, or they're not being heard. Either way, it's there are expectations that are not being met, that are harboring, that are leading to resentment, which is pushing the need to go in a different direction, whatever that direction is. But your heart is tied to you've committed yourself to certain things, and that's why the choice is hard, because it's like, do I choose to stay where I am at, which, I have this loyalty to, committed, loyal relation, I've committed my energy to whatever this is, or to see if I can get my needs. Do I stay and see if I can voice things to get my needs met in the current dynamic I'm in, or have I done that and they're not being met, and now I need to get my needs met, I need to move through a different door and down a different path. And so I feel like this is the choice that many of you are on the precipice of some point in your life, some dynamic in your life where you're at that where you're making that choice between stay where you are and try and fix things and hope they're going to get better, or move on and go in a different direction than what you've been in, because you know that where you're at is not fulfilling your needs. And so it's going to be, depending on the person, each of you, you're going to be at a different point here, and come to a different conclusion, because there's a lot of things that come into play with this, and this is being a collective reading. There's not going to be, some of you are going to, based on, your situations are different. So and the dynamics different. Whether this is a job or a family member or friend or something like that, on what that decision is that you're going to make. If you're having trouble with someone in your life, say an ex-partner, it's like, maybe you and them have kids together, and it's like, well, I kind of have to deal with this person, but at the same time, they're not cooperating, they're not doing, they're not helping me in any way. And so it may be the decision, it can be hard, because, like, especially when kids are involved, of do you stay in that situation for the kids, or is it better to walk out the door and move on, because either way, the kids are going to be affected. So it's like the kids are going to be affected in some way. Just like when you're in a job, sometimes that, yeah, it can be hard to pick up and leave a job because you leaving may put them in a bind, but you also know it's what's best for you. And so that's the kind of choices that are kind of coming up with this making a choices. It's like those hard decisions of knowing that other people outside of you are going to be impacted by the decision that you make. That it's almost like a decision that no matter what, nobody wins. Okay. So that's why it's a really hard decision. It's like, do I choose myself and go after what I want and my needs, or am I willing to endure? Can I accept the situation as it is and endure the fact that my needs aren't, is this need, how can I put this, it's the decision is my need important enough? Is it important enough to me that I need to fulfill it? Or am I okay with not getting that need met and staying where I am? And so that's the real heart of the matter, the real decision at hand. And like I said, for everybody that's going to be different. But that's why we have the Knight of Pentacles coming out here, because it's the slowest moving knight, but it's the one that wants to make the right decision. And so even though we have this desire within us for this need to be met, I really like this energy, because this is saying we're really taking this decision seriously, because we want to make sure in the long run that that the decision that we make provides us a sense of peace within us, that we can feel good about the decision that we make in the long run, that it's actually going to lead to something more abundant for us, in the long term, however that is. So it's a decision that, if you're resonating with this, I applaud the fact that this is somebody who is really diligently weighing up the pros and cons before, like, they're taking this decision very, very seriously as to what direction they're going to go with this. Taking in all the factors, checking all their, kind of dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's when it comes to, making this decision. So if this is someone you're connected to, know that whatever decision they're trying to make, they're not coming to it lightly. They're literally looking at everything in their life, and because like I said, the heart of the matter, the decision really comes down to, what the need that is building, that I am not fulfilling right now, whatever is feeling missing from your life, am I okay? Okay, I can give another example of this. So say that you have gotten in a new relationship, romantic relationship, and things are going really, really well. But then for whatever reason, okay, say you have kids or they have kids or whatever, your kids or their kids don't like the other person, okay? Well, then you have a decision to make. It's like, you can't just factor just your feelings into you want to be with the person, you want to be with that partner, you have feelings for them, you want to be with them, you want them to be in your life. But unfortunately, the kids play a factor in that relationship. And if their kids don't like you or your kids don't like them, then that's going to cause, there's going to be a rift there. And so you have to, in that instance, it's like making that decision. It's like head over heart decision that's being made of, what's best in the long run. Me taking one for the team and the heartache, and knowing that it's maybe best to part ways with this person that I care about and love, because in the long run it may cause, with the stress of their kids not liking me or my kids not liking them, that it could cause a rift in our relationship later on, when we really, when it could, it could cause more problems in the long run than good. And so it's saying, I'm going to sacrifice one for the team here because in the long run it's going to be better. Or saying, or saying it, coming and having this conversation. What do we want to do about this? Do we need to change our room, dynamic? Do we need to have a sit down with the kids? So this is somebody who is like evaluating all like the decisions, or is it best for me to move on? Can we make this work? Can we sit down and reasonably find a way forward that is going to work for everybody? Or do I take one for the team? Am I willing to take one for the team here, whether that be to stay or to go? It really is like, weighing what's best for you versus what's best for everybody involved, and seeing, what really is the right answer here. Give me a card of clarification on this Ace of Wands, please. Give me a card of clarification on this Ace of Wands. We have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, see, this has been difficult. It's been difficult to keep this going, whatever it is. Like, I feel like this is telling me that Ace of Wands with the Nine of Wands, this is someone who keeps putting energy in a losing battle. Okay, so it's somebody who this could be you. It could be someone connected to you that's feels like they're fighting a losing battle, because what happens, like I said, their need isn't being met. Like there's something that they're really desiring, they're really needing, they're putting the energy in, but they're not reaping results of the energy and effort they're putting in. Like, we go back to the beginning when I talked about somebody who's feeling like comparing themselves to others and going, why is this person, why are they having movement? Why are they able to have this, this blessing in their job or in their romantic life or whatever, and where mine is, nothing's happening, where I'm not moving forward, where I'm not getting the job, or where I'm not doing this. It's that comparing to others and feeling like it really comes down to, as I've said several times here, a need that within us that puts us in that state of feeling jealous and envious because we're not where we want to be. But again, it comes back at the beginning. We talked about divine timing, and I feel like that's the case here a little bit. There is divine timing at play, but also I feel like it's very important that something be said. There's something that needs to be communicated here that will make this decision possibly a little bit easier to make, because I do see somebody here that has invested a lot of time and effort and energy into trying to make something happen. It's like somebody who's trying to light a match when it's windy out. It's like the match keeps going out. It's like I keep igniting the match, but it keeps going out. I keep trying, but it keeps, it's not getting anywhere. Okay, so let's give me a card of clarification on this Two of Pentacles, please. The King of Pentacles. So if this is this can definitely be a relationship, romantic relationship. We have counterparts coming out here, King and Queen of Pentacles. There is a lot of Pentacles energy on the table. So this could be, trying to ignite the spark in a marriage, in a relationship, to keep it going. But it's like, there's these challenges that keep coming up and keep getting in the way over and over again. There's something that isn't igniting and isn't taking up. The analogy I gave of trying to light a match in the wind, it just keeps going out. And so that wears you down. When you keep trying and it's not accomplishing anything. You're not seeing results for the actions you're taking. That can wear you down over time. It can make you exhausted. And then you have to get to a point. This is where you're close to a breaking point. You're close to the point where you have to make that decision of, do I keep putting effort and energy and not getting anywhere, where I'm just wearing myself down because I'm not seeing any results for the effort I'm putting in. Do I set, at this point, do I keep doing this and keep continuing to hope that something's going to change, or do I need to go through a different door and make a different decision here? Look at all these pentacles. Look at that nine of pentacles. So this is about someone who is considering moving toward independence. And like I said, I love how it's interesting how this is coming between the king and queen of pentacles. So if it's a relationship, we talked about, this could be somebody who's potentially contemplating divorce. I definitely saw that here, because they're like, do I stay? And especially if there's kids involved, although nothing has come out about kids being involved, but if there's other factors involved, it's really somebody who is really weighing up everything, of saying, but they're considering their independence. Okay, so know that if you're dealing with someone, this is somebody connected to you, or them may be weighing up. If you're in a marriage or a serious relationship, may be contemplating the fact that they may be really considering their independence. Really looking at that, really contemplating moving out on their own, away from this relationship. This also can be a job, like, wanting to divorce yourself from a job, so to speak, of wanting to go and become more independent. Maybe you're being overworked at work and they're not listening to you, and they keep giving you lots of long hours, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. I have to break this partnership, this marriage up. Even though it might provide a lot of money, it's not worth it to me. So it's like weighing that. Is the money, that could be the context of a job, because we can partner ourselves with a job. And this is, this is Pentacles. So it can definitely be about money and about a job of, is the money worth it, worth the headache of doing the job? Or is it best for me just to part ways and find a new form of employment, even if I take potentially a financial risk or hit because of it? We have the Page of Swords. So this is someone who's exploring their options. This is someone, well, I'm getting this as, with this Page of Swords, really doing the research. And I saw that with the Knight of Pentacles here, of somebody who is really evaluating things. And so I feel like really this is someone who, interesting enough, he's holding on to this. He's holding on to this. I think it's a sword. Okay, it's sword. He's holding on to the sword, but it's blocking across his body. And so he's like, kind of, guarded in a sense. This is somebody, look at his face. He doesn't look happy. And again, I think it's because he's holding on to something that it's like resentment's festering there. He has something to say, but he hasn't said it. Look at that, because this is someone that it said at the beginning, we need to say it. We need to say what we're afraid to say. We need to express ourselves to find that peace that you seek. You need to speak up about something, because this is someone who's harboring resentments, who's holding on to something, holding on to their truth, but they're not expressing it. There's a need to express that truth here that's coming through very strongly. There's something that needs to be said. It needs to be brought out to the surface. Whether that, and this could easily be, maybe you have feelings for someone and you've been keeping those feelings to yourself about liking someone or wanting to be with somebody, or having feelings for them, and you've kept that inside. You've kept it to yourself, and you may be weighing up the option: do I say something before there is competition? Maybe you're starting to see, maybe you really desire to be with somebody, but you haven't expressed that to them. And so now there might be this fear that there might be competition in the relationship, or that person may start dating other people where there would be competition for them, and that could definitely be a dynamic here. There's lots of ways this could play out, but that's what I have for you. That's what the message that wants to come through. And so I feel like, whether this is you or them, I really feel like you or somebody you're connected to. I have a feeling for a lot of you, it might be you, the viewer, that this is occurring, to, more than somebody maybe you're connected to. It could be that as well, though. We always want to take things as can be, roles can be reversed always, especially when you have somebody else on your mind when you come to the reading. But I really feel like the main takeaway from all this is that don't compare the decision that you're making to anything anyone else is doing. This is a very personal decision for you to make for yourself. So only you can decide what is best for you in the situation, because if you choose to stay in a situation, then you have to, you've made peace with that decision. You've made that choice. So you've made peace with maybe letting go of something that was a desire that you had. Maybe, whatever was pushing you or driving you toward that independence, you've made peace with that not being a part of your life if you stay where you're at. Or maybe you won't find peace with not having whatever that is in your life, and that will it's more important to you than what situation you're in, and that's going to be different for everybody. So I can't really give good advice on this, because it really comes down to a personal choice of weighing what is best for you or not. And for some people, they're going to stay, some people they're going to go, but this is really just talking about somebody who is really considering whether they should stay or go in a situation. Okay, so let's go ahead. As I've been doing for these, we're doing a yes no at the end. So let's do a yes no question. So I'll go ahead and hold the deck out here for you to take a snapshot or pause the video while you think of a question that you want to ask, a yes no question, and we'll see what comes up as the answer for that question that you have. So let's get the answer for your question. Spirit, what's the answer to my collective's question? What's the answer for them at this time for whatever question they have? No, feeling fragmented, cracking under pressure. So I feel like with this answer, I feel like this is a no, because something is not well thought out. Okay, I'm not saying this is a definitive no. This is giving me that something, like, I like that it says cracking under pressure, and especially with the example of the egg here, because an egg can come out when you crack it with the yolk intact. It can come out with the yolks broken, and still it's talking about something that's fragile, something that is that can be broken very easily. So I really feel like the message here is whatever question that you asked, Spirit, at this time, they're saying it's a no, because it's not bound. Whatever you're asking for isn't built on a solid foundation. Whatever you're requesting or asking at this time, there's something that needs to shift or change to make it more solid, or to make it more practical, or to make it to turn the no into a yes, if that makes sense. So it's something that's saying that if you went forward with this plan right now in the way you're trying to go about it, or whatever you're asking for, it's like you haven't thought about all the ramifications around that. So say it's like you're asking, for example, will I win the lottery? Okay. And it's saying no. And it's saying no because, why is it saying no? Because maybe you're someone that has, that isn't responsible with money. Not saying that's anything bad about you, but maybe there's things that you still need to learn about how to handle that much money. Maybe, if you're somebody that's never had that much money in your life, you're not going to know how to handle it. You might tend to throw it all away and spend it on frivolous things, and then it'd be gone, or you end up in debt maybe in a year or two. And so the universe is saying, you're not ready for that yet. Whatever it is, it's saying, mentally, emotionally, you may not be ready for this yet, or the pieces aren't in place to make this practical enough to make it enduring yet. yet is the key there. Yet. So there's basically more homework that needs to be done, so to speak, or more education that needs to be acquired before this no can become a yes, if that makes any sense. I hope that helps you with the answer. Okay, especially if you might have like been like, no, oh my gosh, and that was kind of a shock to you that it's a no. It's saying, there's just more, like, there's more preparation that needs to be done on your part in some way before that this no could become potentially a yes. Okay, so that's where I'm going to leave this. I thank you all so much for joining me today. I appreciated your time and your company, of course, as always. And always feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, or leave any comments as you see fit. All of it always helps, and I appreciate it greatly for the support that you're providing me and my channel. So thank you all so much. I wish you the very best today. Much harmony and gratitude to you, my lovely friends.